Alright, let's hear our viewers of Equinoxe Television, 6 p.m. past 2 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining us on this edition of the news. As usual, we begin right away with our major stories. The economic capital Douala is gradually becoming a very busy town. Piles or heaps of debt could be found in most street corners and also quarters in the city of Douala, and the local population is complaining that the situation can lead to so many infections in the long run. And also in this news class, we will be revisiting 2022, which is said to have been a very difficult year for the local population of Cameroon, talking in the economic sense of the word. And also in this news class, we will take you to the Northwest Regional Headquarters of Bamenda, where the chairman of the Social Democratic Front, Nijan Fundi, has called on separatist fighters to leave from the bush and also to drop their arms. Those are our major stories. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for being with us to begin this edition of the news. Informing you that the economic capital Douala is gradually becoming very filthy and dirty. Heaps and piles of debt could be spotted in most street corners in the city of Douala for some time now. The town has been really filthy, and the local population is complaining that in a long run or even in a short run, the situation can cause so many infections. Let's now have more with our reporter Lucy Diengu is here.
For the past few months, the streets of Douala have been filled with piles of dirt. The population complained they celebrated Christmas in nauseating smells.
The Christmas period was really, you can put it a little bit nasty, because the dirt, if at all you have dirty thing in your house, you carry, you want to throw it somewhere, this man will say, no, don't throw it here. You go this way, this man say, don't throw it away, because the dirty was there, that nobody can carry it.
In some neighborhoods like Aqua, Besenge, Dogbati, Omnispor, amongst others, the situation is worst. The residents say it is affecting their health.
Partout dans tous les carrefours.
In every roundabout you find dirt. This is just the proof. Heaps of dirt gathered without being cleared. The inhabitants even sweep, but Izakam does not clear them off.
Many rubbish containers have been full for several days. The population blame the hygiene and sanitation company, Izakam, for not being effective.
If you start from the roadside, right here, see there's dirty everywhere. We don't actually know what is going on. I might strongly believe that the Izakam people themselves, they are not doing the job well. Because if I thought they were doing it well, we couldn't have found the dirt here in the dustbin. The dustbin is there full. Every day they throw that, but it's still there.
The situation, according to many, has become confusing and complicated to the point where it is difficult to circulate in some areas.
And now 2022 is said to have been a very difficult year to Cameroonians economically. Blamed on the Russo-Ukrainian war, Cameroon was hit successively with the high cost of basic necessities. Let's now revisit the year 2022 economically with our staff man for me, Armstrong Sander.
The increase in the prices of vegetable and palm oil championed the list of items that made life miserable for Cameroonians in 2022. This hike moved from households to social media, with sketches demonstrating citizens' discontentment with the high cost of living. From 1,000 to 1,200 francs in some cases, a liter of vegetable oil moved to 2,200 francs in markets in Cameroon.
I'm very surprised. At first we used to buy a liter of palm oil for 850 francs, but now we purchase it for 1,000 francs, and even more. I would then prefer my wife to cook with palm nuts.
Just when the country began sourcing alternative solutions to the oil crisis, a bread crisis stemming from an increase in the prices of floury products struck.
An empty bakery in Fumban, known division of the West region. Breads and other floury products have gone on a holiday. This bakery and others in the towns of Kutaba and Fumban have been forced to take a leave by the population who staged a protest, refusing not to buy and eat bread that cost over 100 francs CFA.
Largely blamed on the war between Russia and Ukraine with its impact on the importation of wheat, Cameroonians got sucked in a successive increase in the prices of other basic consumer goods.
Prices of basic commodities in Cameroon have increased by 2.5% according to the National Institute of Statistics. Commodities like sugar, milk, mayonnaise, butter are facing a hike in their prices.
A situation that got so serious that the government on August 10, 2022 opted for a joint press conference aimed at outlining government measures and strategies.
I came to buy egusi this morning to cook, only to realize that there is an increase in prices because a glass that was sold for 350 is now at 500 francs. Life is very difficult for us now.
Combat the high cost of living, the press conference featured the Minister of Communication and Government spokesperson, the Minister of Trade, the Minister of Water and Energy, the Minister of Agriculture and the Ministry of Scientific Research and Innovation. The outing, however, changed very little, with the prices of basic goods skyrocketing throughout the last month of the year, notably November and December 2022.
At first we were taking the bag of broly rice, what they call 5 times 5, same for same. We means there's a 5 bag of 5 kilo of broly rice in a bag. That means 25 kilo. So we're selling one bag of 5 kilo, 5,500 francs. But since that the price have increased, they're selling at 6,000. Now it's 6,000, cost 6,000. Concerning the normal rice, let's just take an example, 25 kilo. At first it was the rice of 11,000. They were selling it 11,000. At time even 10,000. At time even 11,500. But now you can hardly see a bag of rice of 10% Thailander 11,000. Now it's 12,000, 12,500, 13,000.
With the 2023 finance bill, its content adopted by Parliament in November and promulgated by the President of the Republic, the cost of living in Cameroon will even be higher in 2023.
In the southwest region of the country, the SEO for the Kupe Maninguba division says the law is going to take its course in relation to contractors who didn't realize their projects for the year 2022 in Kambe. He was speaking during a budgetary session in which it was realized that the local population of Tombel still lacks potable water and other basic necessities such as electricity. Let's now have more with a staffman, Innocent Aze.
The population of Tombel in the Kupe Maninguba division of the southwest region should have been moving into 2023 joyfully. Unfortunately, the reverse is true, since they will still face the existing water crisis, deplorable farm-to-market roads, no or epileptic energy supply, and others. These are 2022 earmark projects which are still pending realization despite funding by the Tombel Council.
People took advantage of this situation of crisis. When they launch projects, these contracts are awarded to persons who know fully well that there are crises. They accept that they will do the job. Later on, they'll start playing funny games with the state. Say they want to take money, especially when there was this time that they used to give advance payments. Some of them take advance payment without doing anything, they go away. Some really start the job so well that when they go and take some advance payment, they abandon the job. When you want to ask them, they say it's a crisis. They are afraid of going there, knowing fully well that these places are in crisis zone.
William Ekema, Senior Divisional Officer for Kupe Maninguba, who supervised the budgetary session of the Tombel Council, aims at preparing for the financial year 2023, attributed such behavior to bad faith.
It is all about bad faith from most of the contractors. They have demonstrated a lot of bad faith. That's why some of the work has not been completed. Others, most of those who are not doing this, those who are not taking things serious, we shall follow them up We can't leave them go free. The law will follow them and they will pay for the crimes, the economic crimes they have committed.
Among the aforementioned issues to be tackled, the councillors during evaluation of the 2022 projects debated more on the need to solve the water crisis.
We need water to flow 24/24 in Tombe. Tombe has so many sources of water, and if they are well managed and well harmonized, people in Tombe cannot stay without water. We shall be coming, we are giving them a time frame to put everything in order, light inclusive. We want Tombe to change.
Mayor Rose Ndasa, on behalf of the Tombe Council, assured everything is being done to improve on the standard of living of the population of Tombel, who are mostly engaged in agriculture.
Priority during this budget was the purchase of our bulldozer, and I'm very happy that the councillors have accepted that bulldozer. And this bulldozer will help us a lot for our farm to market road, because in our council most of our population are farmers, and at times there are a lot of difficulties to go and remove their crops from farm to come and sell for the town. That one is one of the challenges that the councillor and I are giving ourselves.
To meet up with the pending projects and the realization of the envisaged ones, the Tombel Council budget was voted at a tune of 1,491,350,000 francs CFA as its operating budget for the 2023 fiscal year.
And now we take you to Idea, where the local population complained the slow execution of projects in that locality is hindering development in Idea. Our reporter Mala Glory tells us more on proposals of the local administrators on how to raise funds and put together the projects. Let's now have the report of Mala Glory.
These are some major urban stretches in the city of Idea degrading. The rehabilitation of roads here are still pending projects and a disturbing situation to road users. This is just one out of the many challenges faced by the inhabitants of Idea. We have so many difficulties in Idea. First, the rehabilitation of major streets is a project launched more than 1 year ago. Secondly, we need road construction equipment and all to develop our area. We can be independent and these challenges were highlighted during a city council budgetary session chaired by the Senior Divisional Officer of Senegal Maritime Division. A budget was voted for a number of projects, and according to the Senior Divisional Officer, importance should be given to income-generating projects. I think value should be given to more income-generating projects so that we will stop calling for help from left and right. The Council of Idea is supposed to develop strategies to raise funds for the development of its communities. One of the income-generating projects is the coming of a new market announced by the city mayor during the budgetary session. This market will be specialized in the selling of meat to help the council raise funds for the execution of some projects. The people now look forward to welcome this new baby in the city of Idea.
And now the chairman of the Social Democratic Front, Nijon Trundi, has called on separatist fighters to drop their arms and come out from the bush. He says it is one of the strategies to end the 6-year-old conflict rocking the northwest and southwest regions of the country. Nijon Trundi was speaking today in Bamenda. Let's now listen to him in this excerpt.
I am really disturbed with what is happening. Because when we started with the LDF in 1990, we wanted to educate the people to choose what they want to do. We ushered in a debatable democracy for people to talk, for us to talk the pertinent issues that affect our country, and for us to come together and see how we can resolve this. But when certain dirty issues came in, Children took the guns, went to the bush. They are fighting first the population, fighting the army, and fighting themselves. So those who say they are fighting three fronts. First themselves, because we are all living witnesses to the fact that most of them killed themselves. Then they have to start fighting the population that they are supposed to be fighting to protect because of ransoms and all the like. And then they are fighting the army. This makes me feel very disturbed, and that's why in 1992, when I won the elections and they said I should go to war to seize my victory, I said I prefer the victory to go for me to have the people, the children with me, than to go to war, get them killed. War is not a good thing. I've lived through situations in war, of course, in other countries, but coming to think that I can, at this age, support the idea of war in my own country, in my own area of origin, north or southwest, that would be the last thing that I would do. And up to now, I'm still joining my voices with the other people who are pleading that these boys should leave the bushes and come back home for us to build our country.
And now coming up next, as Staffman Babila Jonathan now tells us more on what the chairman Nijon Fundi told reporters in Bamenda about the internal problems threatening unity within the Social Democratic Front.
Yes, the SDF is ready.
Social Democratic Front SDF National Chairman confirms the readiness of the party for upcoming political activities, including the National Convention of the party, but decries internal issues emanating from the reorganization of grassroots organs now threatening its unity.
Some of you have recent noticed that some top cats of the party got very angry and they were blasting the hell out of me, because to them they thought that we should just leave the party the way it is and go in for a convention.
Speaking to reporters in Bamenda, Chairman John Fundi explained the purpose of the reorganization that provoked disapproval and angry reactions across the party.
We have to get the party reorganized to get more people in. So many people have died. So many people have resigned from their positions, and I cannot leave those positions and take a few people into the convention. I have to get the party reorganized. Let more people come in, younger and elderly people too, people with wisdom, come in to lead the party.
In reaction to Honorable Jean-Michel Nincho's opposition to stance of the National Executive Committee, notably the dissolution of regional executives, John Fundi condemned the Member of Parliament's failure to fulfill assignments given to him by the party.
Is a winning backing dog, backing and going away. If we, for instance, put Nietzsche to be in charge of the reorganization in the north, instead of going to reorganize the north, he went into England and was moving there with Joe Weaver. That is talking about the Anglophone issue.
John Fundi reiterated his decision to hand over the leadership of the party to a new leader in 2023, a position he has held for the past 32 years of existence of the SDF.
And now it is the festive period, and we should or must be careful on what we consume during this period. An illegal plant where fake whiskey is being produced has been dismantled by security forces in Yaoundé. The suspects were apprehended while they were on their way to go distribute their fake products to the local population. Let's now have more with Immaculate Fogwe.
These empty bottles displayed at the explanade of the Yaoundé 1 Gendarmerie Brigade were ready to be filled with fake whiskey produced in an illegal plant operating in Yaoundé. Among the items that were discovered in the plant are 2 big drums of ethanol equivalent to 500 liters each. The 20 liters gallon contains another major ingredient used for the production of whiskey.
Like 500 liters of alcohol, about 350 bottles and the envelopes, 350 bottles, and the cartons used in fabricating this whiskey.
Among the items seized were stamps and some stickers usually attached to the bottles of whiskey in order to convince consumers that they are of good quality.
We seized 459 vignettes. Remember, these vignettes are used to authentify these products. Once you see the vignettes on the products, you have the impression that they are real products. Meanwhile, they are just counterfeit.
According to the commander, the suspect was on his way to distribute the fake products to customers.
During one of our routine services to secure the population of Yaoundé and the property, that we were informed by reliable sources that they said Mr. Tekam Ile was about delivering fake drinks to the black market. The destruction this kind of drinks could bring to our health.
During this festive period, alcohol consumption is on the rise. Security agents urge the population to be cautious and not fall prey. Equally urge the population to stop selling empty bottles of whiskey to those parading in neighborhoods in search of them. The plant has been sealed. Meantime, the suspect is in police custody.
And now elections into the National Medical Council will take place tomorrow to put in place a new team. We have been profiling some of the candidates today. Our reporters Kevin Tiogo and Dallas Chana spoke to one of the candidates, Dr. Yves Basson, who is also a neurologist. Let's now listen to him in this excerpt.
To 8 points. The first one is that today, whether we like it or not, the population and doctor, of course, need to rule their affair by themselves. So we need to decentralize and modernize the CMC, because the CMC is still run today with the laws that are more than 30 years, some more than 30 years, as I'm saying. So we need to modernize the CMC and to adjust and adapt it to a new environment and living condition. This is the first aspect. The second project will be to improve the democratic process at the level of the renewal process of our organs within the CMC. Today, many people are complaining of corruption because in that the electoral process still has to do to improve. The third objective is to improve the governance within the CMC. We need to know who is supposed to do what is supposed to be done. We don't need people to improvise or just do things by themselves. We need everything to be run properly. We need our leaders to be accountable to the doctors that they are running, to be able to be transparent. The fourth objective is to help the CMC to play its regulatory roles on one hand, but also to be able to demoralize doctors in their daily practices.
And now our reporters also sought to find out from Dr. Yves Basson what are some of the challenges which the new team would have to check and also resolve in the coming years.
The CMC is engaging in a new era. The CMC was created more than 6 decades ago, and today the realities have totally changed. We have many doctors today, unlike before. We have more than 10,000 of doctors today. Today we have identity issues that are raised here and there. We have the new technology of information of communication that have been brought to us, telemedicine that has no regulation, and we have many doctors today who are working in very bad condition, and probably we have the unacceptable phenomenon of doctors who are unemployed. So today I think that even though we recognize that our leaders, the pioneer leaders, our founding fathers, president, they have done a lot for our corporation, but I think that today we need a new leadership that has a new vision, because we have a lot of challenges that we should handle, and we think that we need young colleagues, we need people who have proven that they take the medical corporation and they take doctors at heart, and who have been able to remain the same despite multiform challenges and trials that they have passed through. And I think that when it comes to that, we are that person with a lot of humility and honesty. We think that we are the person and the only who have proven to be consistent despite all kinds of challenges, and who have been able to be somebody honest with doctors and who have consistently been fighting for the betterment of our corporation.
And now we talk sports. The defending champions of the African Nations Championship, CHAN, Morocco, say they will boycott the competition if they are not allowed to have a direct flight from Morocco to Constantine. The declaration was made by the Royal Moroccan Football Federation President Fouzi after a meeting with other Football Association officials. Sportsman Smart Njikan Gabriel spoke to some sports lovers in Cameroon who think the decision by Morocco is uncalled for.
The home-based Atlas Lions of Morocco are still not certain to be part of this year's African Nations Championship, CHAN, of which they are defending champions. As it stands, due to the Cold War existing between Algeria and Morocco, a ban was imposed on Morocco by Algeria that the latter shouldn't use their airspace. A decision which a sports lover says it's normal.
If they have a problem, then it is a more reason the Algerians have to be very careful with them, because they have a problem. The Algerian government have to be very careful with all those who come in from Morocco and vice versa. The government of Algeria has a legitimacy. They have the right to determine who and how people come into their country.
Ashu Akepe went ahead to say the security of the nation is under the country's government and not under the Confederation of African Football.
Whatever the case may be, CAF is organizing the tournament, but the security of that competition and the nation as a whole is rested on the Algerian authority. So it is left unto them to determine how flight come into their country.
Another sport lover told us that with the competition already at hand, the host nation should reconsider its stance against Morocco to enable a hitch-free tournament.
I think that it is time for them to uplift the ban or maybe keep away their diplomatic differences to see that the competition goes on hitch-free. Thereafter, maybe they can continue with their diplomatic differences. Football is one of the means that is bringing people together this day and one of the means of peace building. So I think Morocco and Algeria should leave their differences aside and then let this competition go on hitch-free.
The competition, which is bringing together home-based players, is organized by CAF, and Ashu Akepe said CAF should play the role of a middleman between these two nations.
Well, CAF will definitely have a say because it's the organizer. CAF, I'm sure, have to play the buffer zone between the two governments to see reasons why Morocco should not be absent and why Morocco should be present in Nigeria.
Given that it is said in Africa that during mourning we mourn together and during celebrations we celebrate together, we leave our differences apart, we leave our enemies aside, and then we celebrate. After the celebration, we can then continue with our enmity.
It was during the board of directors meeting of the Royal Moroccan Football Federation that the members unanimously agreed not to participate at the African Nations Championship CHAN in Algeria. This is because the host nation doesn't want to allow them to fly directly from Morocco to Constantine, where the defending champions are based. It should be recalled that the Cold War existing between Algeria and Morocco led to the host nation banning their airspace, which means Morocco can only enter Algeria from another direction and another air company. Morocco and the Democratic Republic of Congo both have 2 titles each of these African Nations Championship.
Thanks, Matt. That was it for the news. Thank you, viewers, for always being with us.
Equinoxe Télévision, au-delà de l'image, nous rendons compte.
7 conseils pour se protéger contre le nouveau coronavirus.